Hi, everybody. It's episode 446 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It's Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Hello.
So, I really wish that we recorded on Thursday so that I could have introduced us as February 30th.
I mean, you could have just said February 29th.
That's a real day, though.
I know. People, it's the inside joke. I get it.
It doesn't hit as hard when it's a real day.
Be nice to me. I'm sick, okay?
You weren't sick 2 weeks ago when you thought there was a 30th day in February.
Technically, I was. I was dealing with major acid reflux and potential diabetes. Technically, I was. And still
I'm just hearing excuses.
I'm just saying. Brain is all mush right now. Somebody said Guten Morgen on my Discord, and I thought he said gluten-free morning. I was like, what the fuck? Like, my brain is mush.
That is every morning for you.
It is. It is every morning for me. No, you want to know how mush my brain is? So there was that Pokemon Presents last week. I watched last year's before I watched this year's this week. Just today. Like, literally within the past hour, I watched last year's, and I didn't catch it until the very end when they were playing the video for Scarlet and Violet. And I was like, wait, well, this is the exact same video that they showed for Motherfucker.
You know what's even worse, though, Rich?
Huh.
That Pokemon Presents was 2 days ago.
I know. It just happened.
Well,
but
no,
it was
you said last week, I'm like, your timeline is so messed up that it was actually just 2 days ago, but it feels like last week.
I mean, it was over the last week of content because we record on Wednesdays.
I will give you that one.
It was over the last week, so. But yeah, it was. That's my brain. Brain is totally mush. I was telling Cobb before we recorded, Drew, before you got in, I literally watched Akira, The State of Play, and the Pokemon Presents over the course of the last 5 hours.
Nice.
Because that's just where my head was all week, and I started feeling sick yesterday, and so I didn't feel up to watching Akira last night.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I actually didn't watch The State of Play.
I mean, you didn't miss much, but we'll get into that.
I started it, I watched the first 2 minutes of it, and said, oh, there is nothing in this for me. And then I scrolled through the article to see everything they showed. I'm like, yep, there is nothing in this for me.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
And moved right the fuck along. How you guys doing otherwise, though?
I can't complain.
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Complain.
You know what? I'm almost another year older. Sucks.
There you go. Drew, in turn, guys, make sure to send, what is your Twitter, Drew? You don't have a Twitter anymore.
Yeah, I do. I am Drew.
Oh. Send out a Twitter to I am Drew, saying happy birthday to him on Friday the 3rd.
Yep.
Or you remembering his birthday.
Or March 1st if it were our leap year.
No.
That's
it's
still
February
wrong.
32nd.
Yeah, February 32nd. There you go. Look, I got jokes on myself. I started back up on Ring Fit this week. I deleted my old save and started back from the beginning. Man, that game's fun.
Where have these streams been?
I'm not streaming that quite yet, just because I don't have a good way of really being able to show it. Because my webcam doesn't have a swivel, so I can't angle it to be able to show me. And I don't have long enough wires to be able to show it all. So I'm not doing that. I used to have it set to where I would, people could redeem points and I would have to play it at the end of stream. But I took that off when I got my new webcam, basically. And I need to find a way to be able to do it with this webcam before I actually put that back on. But one of these days it'll be on there.
I'm just hearing excuses.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of excuses, Rich, what's on the agenda?
On the agenda, as we had made mention of, there was a State of Play last week that I feel like was kind of out of the blue, but I guess was maybe announced. There was also a Pokemon Presents for Pokemon Day on Monday. Monday? Yeah, Monday. And then I played Sons of the Forest. There's an S. Sons of the Forest. I believe there's an S. Let me double check that. Yes, there's an S. I played Sons of the Forest. Cobb, you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Jade City, and the three of us should have watched Akira.
All of these things sound accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, how about that Sony State of Play?
Look, it wasn't terrible. There was some interesting things that they showed on there, but for the most part, I was kind of checked out with it. The only game that I'm 100% interested in is Humanity, which is the game that has the little dog that you have to control the people with or whatever.
I don't know that I even noticed that one when I was scrolling through things.
Yeah, it's from the developers of Tetris Effect. And it's like you run around as this little not maybe like Akira type dog. And you it's kind of like Lemmings, but you're a dog and the people are people. And it's a puzzly game. It looks very neat and very adorable. That's really one of the only games that interest me. I'll be honest, when I saw the stuff for Resident Evil 4, I don't know if it's because I just played Resident Evil 4, but I was less interested in this remake than ever before because it was exact duplicate scenes. And I know that was kind of what they did with 2 and 3, but it was still different enough because it had the singular camera angle and not the over the shoulder. Whereas this is just, it felt like it was a 1-for-1 remake. And so I kind of lost even more interest where it's this is definitely a sub $30 game for me.
Which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. And then, I got disappointed because Suicide Kill the Justice League is a shooter. And great. We need
it's
more
like
of
a
those.
looter shooter that requires always online.
Yeah. It's so, I'm so mad because I was expecting something more in the lines of the Avengers game. Where each hero plays differently. But no, every character uses fucking guns. They can use all the same guns. They can all fucking fly. And it's just a shooter with some melee in it. And I'm just well, the story seems exciting. The game, it's 50-50. It's the actual abilities look cool. But it's a fucking shooter. With these melee characters.
I had a feeling that, just from what they had showed kind of up front with that game, I'm oh, this is not going to be good.
I'm not going to say it won't be good. It'll probably play good. It'll probably have, the shooter fan base into it. The Destiny fan base and shit, probably.
So,
but
I don't know if it'll actually play well, though. Because, Rocksteady, really good melee. In the Batman games.
Yeah.
It felt good. All of their, range stuff in those games didn't really feel great. And, it's been a long time since the last Batman game they did. I'm sure most of that studio has, changed since then. But, this game's been in development for, almost a decade.
Yeah.
And it's just a fucking looter shooter.
Yeah, I was so disappointed with it. I wanted to run around. There is melee attacks. There are melee weapons.
But that's not the focus. That's not the game they made.
Yeah, you can run around as King Shark with a friggin' meat cleaver and a fishhook, a giant fishhook or whatever. But, alls you see them play in all of the trailers, alls you see them do are their special abilities and then fly away to shoot things. I'm the only character I would want to do that with is Deadshot. The rest of them, no, fuck off, because they're not shooters. King Boomerang should be mid-range. Or not King, but Boomerang should be mid-range. King Shark should be the tank and should be right up front. And Harley should be jumping around all over the place. And Deadshot in the back, shooting things. It shouldn't be, oh, we're all gonna just stand in a line and fucking shoot things.
That's what people want to play, though, apparently.
It's not... This game I was super interested in. I've lost every interest in it. This is a sub $20 game for me. If I were to get it, it's gonna be, under $20 or free. I don't want to play a shooter where I'm playing as Harley Quinn. I want to play a game where I'm playing as Harley Quinn. This is Fortnite, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly... It's not, but it's also not.
Well, yeah, you get what it's not. It's not a battle royale. It's not but it's this is you go into Fortnite and you have all these characters. You can play as Goku, flying on a helicopter, throwing grenades and shooting an M16 at Naruto, with Harley Quinn bouncing around and attacking him as well. That's what you see, but everyone's using a gun, and it's everyone's using a gun, and that just was absolutely disappointing to me. Absolutely. Everyone's using a gun and everyone can fly. Like, that's the other thing. Like, everybody can fly.
Yeah, which is just, like, why?
Like, because it's like King Boom, or why do I keep calling him King Boomerang? Captain Boomerang. He can throw his boomerang, and he uses his, apparently has a flash force.
His name is Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, I keep calling him King Boomerang.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. It's King Shark and Captain Boomerang.
Yeah. But, like, Captain Boomerang will throw his boomerang, and then he'll flash over to it. Which, alright, that's a cool traversal ability. But why is he, like, 30 fucking stories up in the air doing this shit? Like, it should be different. Oh, and, like, King Shark shouldn't be in the air at all. Like, how do you have a jetpack that's heavy enough to be able to pick him up? It just doesn't make sense.
Look, man, if Superman can fly, King Shark can too.
No, that's not how that works.
Says who?
Says comic book physics. Superman can fly because of a power. King Shark is flying because somebody gives him a really big jetpack. That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Not sorry. It's stupid.
I mean, it is stupid, but it's also very comic booky.
Yeah, well. But yeah, so that was pretty much my experience for the State of Play. It was just like, alright, whatever. Honestly, I thought Baldur's Gate 3 was already out.
No, so did I, actually.
Yeah.
Because I could have swore it was out. But I don't know what I had watched. I thought I watched like a speedrun for it, but that might have been like Baldur's Gate 2 or something. Or some other type of Baldur's Gate.
They did relatively recently do like enhanced re-releases of older ones.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I have zero interest in Street Fighter, so like that had no effect to me, which like I know you two are kind of into fighters, but I don't care about Street Fighter at all, or fighters in general.
I am also not a Street Fighter fan. Not since like old Street Fighter, like Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2. And that third time they released Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
All the rest of them, like, I played 3 and a couple of times. I don't think I ever touched 4. And I have 5, but I did not enjoy it because when it launched, there was no actual single-player mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not good at Street Fighter enough to play online. Like, there is zero enjoyment playing that game against other people online.
Yeah.
Like, unless you are... and I believe when that game launched, it did not have skill-based matchmaking. Or, like, if it did, it was very poor. So, like, if you played that game online, you were playing against people generally that were just incredible at Street Fighter. Or at least incredible compared to me. And, like, I would just be dead in, like, 5 seconds, wouldn't even get, like, a hit on the opponent. But that's my Street Fighter experience. So, yeah, fuck Street Fighter 6. Zero interest there. Yeah. But how about this Naruto x Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections? Can't believe they had so little to show off. They had to show us a repackaging of all the fucking Ninja Storm games.
Can they like make a longer name for these games, please?
No.
No?
No.
I want a longer name.
Of just games in general, or of these games?
Of these Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games, like.
Well, wasn't one of them longer? Because wasn't one of them like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm: The Road to Boruto or something like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But like, it's wild that Sony spent time in their State of Play to announce literally just a repackaging of the other games.
Yeah.
Like, it's just putting all of the Ninja Storm games together to have one single storyline between all of them, which are just a retelling of the fucking anime.
Yeah, because it's wild. Like, they had the State of Play, but like, there's so much on here that just I don't care for. Like, they had five or six games that were all VR right at the beginning, which I'm not going to get VR. And I'm sure there's an audience for the VR, but like, because they were. Yeah, they're not, I'm sure. There definitely is an audience for the VR. And I'm not saying these things have to be catered for me, but I'm just like, all of the stuff they showed doesn't seem to be, or if it is first party, if it is like Sony owned, it's small studio shit. Because fucking Microsoft has all the studios now.
I mean, like, Sony has a lot of studios.
But like a lot of what they showed felt like, what was it? Fucking Goodbye Volcano High feels like the ultimate indie developer game ever.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it is, but so think about it this way. In the last, like, 3 years, all of their major studios have released major games. Mm-hmm. Like, they kind of like stockpiled 2020 and 2021 because you had Insomniac did Ratchet and Spider-Man, and then they have Spider-Man coming this year, and Wolverine I think is in the next year.
Yeah.
You had Naughty Dog did Last of Us Part 2. Whatever the studio's named that does Gran Turismo did Gran Turismo.
Mm-hmm. And that you also last year had both God of War and
right.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
So Sony Santa Monica and Guerrilla, like all their main first party studios, like have kind of released stuff, or at least like have stuff that are kind of on the docket that we know are coming. But like I feel Suicide Squad and Street Fighter were the two big things that they had on here. Like this was definitely a response to Microsoft and Nintendo having their things this time of year, and then them wanting to talk about PSVR, but knowing that PSVR is not a big enough draw for like a full thing. So like, okay, well, like we have a partnership with Rocksteady, we have a partnership with Capcom, so we'll show those, and we'll just show a bunch of other stuff that people already know about.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure there's probably some sleepers on there, like Chia, TCHIA, I think it's Chia, or just Chia is how it's pronounced. That might be a decent game. It looks pretty cutesy. It's like, I don't really know anything about it, but it could be a decent game. It could be a sleeper. Even like Volcano High could be a sleeper title, but to me, none of this was really big announcement worthy, I hate to say.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it when you were talking about it originally, but that Humanity game where you're like the dog, with the lemmings, that's from the Tetris Effect team.
Yeah, I said that.
So I missed that while I was trying to get all my stuff organized.
Wow.
I had a lot of windows open. So like that's cool. Like Tetris Effect was really good. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off another like totally different game though.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm right there with you at VR. Like, I think VR is neat. Like, I like the Quest that we have, but like PSVR was clunky and not all that much fun the first time around. Not looking to spend another $600 on just the next iteration.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, like, I wouldn't mind getting into VR, but I have a rambunctious giant fucking dog. I can't have wires thrown all around my house. He's gonna knock shit over. Like, I can't block him away from where I'm playing games. He literally is sleeping right underneath me right now. Like, he has to be by my side. I can't play VR in my house.
Well, I mean, you could do the Quest because that has no wires.
I could do the Quest, but like, I know the PSVR there was tons of fucking wires.
Yeah, I think the 2 only has 1, which is like better, but still, like you said, you don't have a ton of room to begin with, and to be in proximity of your PlayStation and also have room, like that alone would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, let me tell you, when I play Ring Fit, he's a pain in the ass. So like, I can only imagine how VR would be when I can't fucking see him.
It just becomes its own sort of game.
Pretty much.
But the state of play out of the way, there was also the Pokemon Presents.
Yeah, which, I mean, it came out of nowhere as well. I forgot Pokemon Day is in mid-February, or late February, but that kind of came out of nowhere, and they had some information about things.
Hey, Pokemon Classic and Pokemon Sleep and Pokemon Concierge, like, we're living in the era of Pokemon.
Like, Pokemon Concierge, I am interested in, 100%. I am interested in Pokemon Concierge. And I'm actually a little interested in how Pokemon Sleep's gonna work. Because I've used some of those sleep apps before, and they did help. So
you just want to be stung to sleep by a Pikachu.
No, fuck that. No. God, no. No. I don't want to have to hear a fucking Pikachu trying to sing me to sleep. Fuck that. No. Anything but Pikachu. Like,
way to be a hater.
Pikachu, I don't need that. Like, that's just gonna be annoying.
You're such a hipster.
But, no, I just don't like Pikachu. I don't think Pikachu's as great as everyone says he is, and he's not as cute as everyone says he is. He's just cuter Pokemon.
No, you're a hipster. You don't think Pikachu's cute. You don't think the Skywalkers are worth following. Like...
No, I never said I don't think the Skywalkers are worth following. I'm just tired of a Skywalker story in a galaxy far, far away.
Look, man, that galaxy is not that big.
But it's a galaxy, though. There's other people. There's other places. There's other star systems and planets.
The galaxy fits on Orion's belt.
there's still a galaxy. Like, there's still systems in there that they could go for, I'm sure.
But no, the Pokemon Sleep thing seems like it could be neat if you're the type of person who likes that sort of data.
Yeah, and it says like it'll help you sleep. They were quoted with like it'll make you excited for waking up, and like that's part of my problem is not as much I have a hard time waking up. I don't look forward to waking up during the week because I fucking work. So that's why I don't go to bed late. But maybe it'll be like something interesting enough to be like, all right, let's get some sleep and let's check my REM cycles and make sure I'm sleeping well. And especially if I do have sleep apnea, like this might help with managing. I mean, it won't really help with managing.
No, it won't at all. You need a CPAP machine to help.
Yeah, but like it'll give me parameters that I could try to like. It makes sleep into a game, which then gives me parameters that I have to try to compete with. I like games, okay? Things need to be games.
I mean, that's fair. I did appreciate that in the little trailer for it. It basically had this does not make Pokemon sleep next to you, basically. Like it said something about like AR. I'm like, well, no shit.
Well, it had to be. This is not in-game play or something like that. Like it was a little disclaimer, like this is not how the game plays. But yeah, they announced a Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic, which I reached out to Hype Pokey Pete to see if he knew anything about it. Check him out on YouTube, Hype Pokey Pete. He just released a video on Tuesday. But from what he could tell, from what he's seen, because he knows a lot of the research on the Pokemon cards, it seems to be that it's like multiple decks that they're making based off of each of the starter 3. So Charizard, a Blastoise, and a Venusaur deck. And it comes with that.
It's like the old school starter decks, only you're guaranteed one of the 3 chain evolutions of the starters.
Yes. And it comes with this fold out game board that has all of the added, like, it kind of gives you, like, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards came out, they had the playmat. It basically gives you a decent playmat for Pokemon cards now.
Plus all the markers and damage counters and stuff like that. It seems like a cool set.
Yeah, and based on what he said, he doesn't think it comes with all 3 decks. So you might have to end up buying it 3 times to get all 3 decks. But as we are recording, they just posted more, like Pokemon just posted information on their website.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic includes a game board that folds up to store all the items included in Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic, a toolbox for storing stackable damage counters, 3 Pokemon Trading Card Game decks featuring Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise, as well as newly printed cards that go along with the classics, 3 deck boxes featuring energy symbols matching included Pokemon Trading Card Game decks. So maybe it is all 3 in the one.
That's how it reads.
Yeah, it kind of reads that way. But yeah, there's going to be new. It's a reprint of the original cards with some new ones, and it's a neat idea. I might buy it just to have it, not even really to play it or anything, just to have it and keep it sealed and just put it back somewhere and maybe sell it in 20 years for money, maybe, or just have it. I'll finally have my first fucking Charizard ever. I never got a fucking Charizard.
Didn't you was it your brother that had one, like, stolen?
Eric had 4 Charizards.
He had 4 Charizards? How the fuck did he have 4 of them?
He had 2 base sets, 1 base set 2, and a Dark Charizard. And one of the base sets did get stolen because he claimed. I mean, I'm not going to guess and say it's true or not. But he says that this kid stole one because I didn't want to hang out up in my bedroom and I wanted to go play video games. And the dude was still looking through his cards. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go downstairs. And the dude, the next day, Eric's missing a Charizard. So, but my mom was too afraid to confront the kid's mom because she was like, she's my friend and I don't want to lose a friend by confronting her and saying that maybe her kid stole something from you. So, Eric lost out on $600 because this kid's a douchebag.
That sounds about right.
But I mean, he still has his Pokemon cards now. He hasn't sold them, so he hasn't lost out on any money because he hasn't sold them yet.
I mean, he never will. Let's be realistic.
No, he always plays around with the idea of selling them, but never does.
Hey, Rich, good news. In case you were wondering, HBO Max now streaming the Godzilla Connection 1954 through 1975.
I've watched them all already.
Yeah, but now you can rewatch them.
Or 1950. That's the original series. That's always been on there.
Oh, I just got an email that made it sound like it was new.
No, that's how it's always been on there. It's probably because the algorithm saw that you watched a kaiju anime.
I didn't watch that on HBO though.
But Cookies and everything saw that you watched Akira, and your data got stolen. And
I mean that's fair. I'm not sure how Cookies would come into it because I watched it off of the TV.
Look, data knows. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Data knows. But yeah, besides Pokemon, like the things we have mentioned, which Pokemon Concierge is a Netflix series coming out soon this year. Zacian's going to be on Pokemon Unite, which I've been wanting to play that. I always wanted to play it. I just never got around to like getting hardcore into it.
As far as MOBAs go, it was kind of cool.
Yeah. There's more Pokemon Cafe Remix stuff, more Pokemon Masters EX stuff. Like,
all right, hold up for a second. Just this Masters EX. Is anybody else irrationally angry that this shitty mobile game has fucking voice acting and the mainline games don't at all?
They have like one line though.
That is one line more per character than anything in any mainline fucking Pokemon game does.
I mean, yeah, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Because
they could have spent 2 hours recording lines for that fucking final battle against Leon in Sword and Shield, where you're in a goddamn stadium, and they didn't. It's all text. It's so anticlimactic. But instead, this bullshit fucking mobile game gets all the bad fucking British accents that Sword and Shield deserve. Sounds like a goddamn Xenoblade game.
Yeah, the accents were bad. And then fucking Hop has a legendary Pokemon. Fuck Hop, man. Why does he have a legendary?
That actually ran through my head too. I'm like, alright, I can see Bede and Marnie having them. There's no way Hop and his fucking Wooloo caught a fucking Zapdos.
Yeah.
Like, that bitch runs away from you too fast, and Hop is useless.
Yeah.
Man, fucking Hop.
But besides all that, like, there's a new peripheral for the Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep, which is the Pokemon Go Plus, which, I mean, if you're interested in those, it's a bigger button, which is neat.
Yeah, and it's supposed to, that is the thing that will sing you to sleep. But it's also going to do what people wanted the original Pokemon Plus to do, which was just automatically catch things for you and spin stops.
No, you have to press a button still.
I thought
it said with the push of a button, you can you can catch Pokemon with the push of a button.
Couldn't you not do that with the original Go Plus though?
No, you could. That's what it was for, was to press a button so you didn't have to keep looking at your screen.
So then IGN's article is misleading because it literally says, as for its Pokemon Go functionality, the device will finally allow players to catch Pokemon and spin Pokestops automatically, a feature that's otherwise has been available only through third-party alternatives.
I mean, unless it straight up means you don't even have to press the button, you just walk down the street and it does it. Which
that would be cool.
I didn't get that from the video, because they said with the push of a button, you can catch a Pokemon and spin Pokestops. So I misinterpreted it.
It could be like you push the button and then until you push it again, it just spins anything and catches anything.
To turn on the Pokemon Go Plus, you press the button and hold it, it turns it on, connects to your phone, and then you press a button to catch a Pokemon. Like, I don't understand why that's a big deal, really what it is. I don't understand why people need that feature, though.
So, I don't think that part's a big deal, but being able to just walk around and automatically have it spin stops for you, that's actually pretty cool.
But I don't understand why. Why is that a big deal?
Well, if you still play a lot and you're walking around, say, a city, not having to have your phone out constantly to spin stuff.
But you don't. With the Pokemon Go Plus, you put it in your pocket, and you have the Pokemon Go Plus, and it'll buzz every time you're near a thing, and you just press a button. So what I did, say when I was running and whatnot, is I held it like a fucking Spider-Man or a Spider-Man web slinger, and I had it in the palm of my hand, and my hand was closed. And every time I heard that buzz, I just clicked. Boom! I caught the Pokemon or not. Why do you now need this idle game, this game that's already an idle game, to be even more idle?
Why are you getting so angry about it?
No, I don't understand why it's a big deal that now this game that is supposed to be interactive is now not. And why are people excited about that? finally allow players to catch Pokemon and spin Pokestops automatically, a feature that's otherwise been only available through third-party alternatives. What? Then you're not playing the game. You're going for a walk.
Exactly. It's not a fun game to play, but you want the numbers to go up.
But you're not doing anything with the game then. You're just going for a walk.
Somebody's never enjoyed fucking idle games before.
I put in a week spitting like 150 hours in a leaf blower simulator.
Is that actually an idle game?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, it could very much be idle. Like, there were times I was streaming and that was just on in the background, or like I'd go to bed and it was just on at night while I was going to bed or playing or working or whatever. Like, it's literally, like, once you start off, you have to do stuff, but after a while, it's just like, alright, you can just let it go to gather resources and whatnot. So, like, I do get into idle games, but the point of Pokemon Go was to go out and catch the Pokemon and interact with the world and whatnot. And now they're selling the ability to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Then just don't play Pokemon Go.
So,
go for a walk.
So here's what it is. It's selling a thing to make people basically more be playing the game. So they're getting this stuff while they're idly doing whatever other thing they're doing, to then have them open the app to find out what the fuck all they got, and then they actually play the game for a little while, and then, then go back about their business and do whatever, and not have to be looking at their phone or doing whatever the entire time.
That was the Pokemon Go Plus. It was just a button that you press the button every time it buzzes.
But now you don't have to actually have it in your hand to feel it buzz.
So you're not playing the game.
Exactly.
Arguably, you're not playing the game either with the pushing of the button.
And it's not really about playing the game. Like, if you have limited items and you need items, being able to just drop that in your bag and just have it collect items for you as you go, super useful.
Pokemon Go Plus did that.
Yeah, if you hit the button.
Yeah, you just press the button.
But like, I'm not buying this, and I didn't buy the other one. Like, I have zero interest in it. But I don't want to have to walk around with the thing in my fucking hand and press the button if I'm just trying to collect items. I just want to collect the items so that I can then try and catch things later.
To me, it's silly that you're taking more of the game functionality away by doing an automatic catch and capture.
Also, leveling up in that game became very hard at a certain point.
I know. I was very high level.
But being able to just have it automatically catch things throughout the day for you to just get you that little bit of experience, it's going to make people that are trying to get up to level cap for things just easier.
I mean, the only thing, maybe in a city this might be very useful. In a place where it's highly dense and there's a lot of Pokestops and Pokemon in areas.
It's useless in the suburbs or in the middle of nowhere.
But if I'm going for a jog around the lake, which, if I remember correctly, had 6 or 7 Pokestops in Audubon Lake.
Really?
Yeah, they had a lot of Pokestops and there was a lot of Pokemon there.
I didn't realize they had that many stops.
Or if I went to Gloucester Memorial Park out near the Evesham area, that park, that mile-long track, less than a mile-long track, I think it's maybe 3/4 mile long track, every bench along that was a Pokestop. So, you could get 30 Pokestops in 0.7 miles. So it's maybe in those locations it might work a little bit better if you don't have to wait for the button to catch and press and everything. It just does everything automatically, and you're throwing out Pokeballs and hitting Pokestops all at the same time. But otherwise, I think it's silly that you're now taking away more of this game that you already took. Look, I got a Pokemon Go Plus. I actually had 2 because I don't know what happened to my first one, but my buddy, when he moved away, gave me his when he moved because he stopped playing it. So I don't know how I lost my Pokemon Go Plus. I think it fell out of my pocket or something. But I had 2 of them, and to me, it's not inconceivable to just press a button every time it buzzes. It's not a pain in the ass. It's not an issue. Like I said, I'm out if I'm out walking, I'm talking to my friends and I feel a buzz, like I'd be walking around with people I know at Six Flags. I haven't gone to Six Flags in 30 years, but still, I'd be walking around at Six Flags talking to my friends, and I would still have the button just in the palm of my hand, just pressing the button every time I felt the buzz. Like, it's not distracting.
For you, for some people it is, and yeah. Like, I get it. I don't want one, but, like, I get it. Like, if I was in Philly, like, just for the day, like, not there to play, but wanted to, like, fill up my bags, like, having something like that, if I still played Pokemon Go, would be great. Cause then, like, I don't have to, like, pay attention to my phone. I don't have to walk around with my phone out to spin stuff. I don't have to keep a little fucking button in the palm of my hand and press it every time I feel it vibrate. I can just have that thing in my pocket, and when I get home, open the game up and catch stuff, because I have a bunch of items to do that with now.
Exactly.
Like, the catching thing, I agree. Like, if you're gonna catch things, just catch them, like, manually, because otherwise your boxes are just gonna get full of fucking bullshit Pokemon you don't need, and then you have to spend half an hour fucking transferring them anyway.
Yeah.
They want to get you into the app.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what the fuck that does.
You still need to open the app.
Fucking literally what I just said. They want you to do is open the app.
But listen to me. To play Pokemon Go with your Pokemon Go Plus, you still need to open the app before you even go out of your house, before you even start collecting things. Because you need to connect it to your Pokemon Go Plus. You need to have the app opened. And not closed out completely. Just on in the background. So you can, like, swipe it away or whatever, just as long as it's open. You need to connect it to your phone. You need to connect the Pokemon Go Plus to your phone with the app open on your phone as well. So either way, with the Pokemon Go Plus or the Plus, you need to have the game open to play it.
Is this like when you had to have your screen on and it, like, actively playing, or can the screen be off?
The screen can be off with both the Go Plus. The screen can be off.
Okay, so I never had the Go Plus. I honestly think they're both fucking stupid, and I don't want them, because that game is not fun.
Oh,
but, like, I understand why people would want them. But having to, like, what you just described is basically connecting your fucking earbuds to your phone to listen to music.
Yeah,
I have to pair my earbuds and then open up Spotify, find the playlist I want, connect it. This is just open Pokemon Go, pair the thing, hit the thing.
But I just wanted to be sure that you guys understood that even if you went into the city and you just wanted to collect things, it wasn't just as easy as turning on the Pokemon Go Plus or the Pokemon Go Plus. It might be different for the Plus, but it wasn't just as easy as turning on the Pokemon Go Plus. You needed to actually open the game on your phone before it would actually work.
Well, and, like, that's not a big deal. Like, it's not that opening the game is a problem. It's walking around staring at your phone, waiting until something pops up or until you get close enough to swipe it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, if you're not out to act, like, it's different if, like, you're out in the city to play. Like, back when, like, the game was big, like, we went out to, like, Philly a few times and, like, did a bunch of raids and stuff like that. That's different. Like, you're actively going out to play the game.
Right.
But if we're just in Philly because we're going to a concert or we're going to get dinner and we're, like, walking around beforehand, you know, having that thing in my pocket and have it just collect items, like, I wouldn't complain about having to open it up and hit a button to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, like I said, you're taking more of the game away from the game.
But it's not taking the game away from, it's not like, oh, now you can't play the game normally. Here's another way to get you to be involved with the game. That's what both these Pokemon Go Plus, you know, what they both are.
Because Here's the thing. If there's a new Pokemon around, with the Pokemon Go Plus and the Plus, you only get one chance to catch a Pokemon. You hit the button once, and if it catches the Pokemon, it catches. If it doesn't, it runs away. You get one chance. You get one Pokeball. If the Plus glowed yellow, I think, that meant that it was a Pokemon you'd never seen before. So to me, that meant, alright, let me actually pull out my phone and pay attention and actually try to catch this thing I've ever caught before, instead of just pressing a button and walking away. With the Pokemon Go Plus, that's now gone. Because you're not paying attention to the button, you're not paying attention to anything. So like you are not actively playing the game because it's in your pocket. But you're not playing the game.
Yeah, right.
So what though?
But it's not for for people, like Cobb said multiple times, it's not for people that are trying to actively play the game at the time. It's for people, just like Cobb said, going into a city, doing some other thing, and then when you get home, it's like, oh, hey, cool, let me open up Pokemon and see all what the fuck happened today, everything I got, go through, clear everything out, wind up fucking spending $1 on some fucking bullshit.
Realizing that you're out of storage and you now have to give them $10 to buy coins so that you can upgrade your storage.
100%.
Because let's be real. Rich, do you remember how much the first plus was? It was like 20 or 30, I think, right?
Something like that. I don't remember.
I'm sure this one is going to be... So if the original was 30, this one is at least 40, probably 50. Because they're also tying it in with the sleep, and I could see them charging a premium for that. So you're giving them $50-ish for the device, and then they don't care if you play the game or not. They only care if you spend money in the game. By having a thing that automatically fills your bags for you, that almost guarantees people are going to get annoyed enough to spend more money in the game. Because, like, if my shit's full, but I'm like, oh, I have 300 Pokeballs, I'm not going to delete a Pokeball, I need those. I'll just give them a few dollars to up my storage by 50 points.
Yeah,
and
look,
the three of us don't have that mentality. Actually, I assume you two don't. I know I don't. But, like, that is the fucking gambling mentality of these, like, like mobile, like, microtransaction games. Like, they're banking on the people that are like, oh, I need these things, I can't let them go. Here's money, just let me have more things instead.
Look, play how you're gonna play. I just think it's silly that people want an automatic feature in this. Like I said, then just go for a walk and don't play the game.
But you're not getting points that way.
But who cares? Just go for a walk.
Why do you care? You clearly care.
No, if you don't want to play the game, then just go for a walk.
You just got done telling us that you want everything in your life to be a game.
Yeah,
I do want everything in my life to be a game, but I want it to be a game that I play. I want it to be a game that I want the feel of a game. For me, having giving me, hey, you're gonna go catch Pokemon, even if it's just me pressing a button that I have Spider-Man around my hand, it's still some interactivity, and maybe that's in part ADHD or something. It gives me something to do and to focus on at times when there's nothing really to focus on, or it's like a fidget thing. Maybe. Who knows? But you give me something where you say, hey, we're going to go play Pokemon Go. Just put this in your pocket and connect it to your phone. And I'm not playing Pokemon Go now. I'm just going for a walk.
I mean, yes, that is true. And if somebody said, hey, we're going to go play Pokemon Go, and then everyone just put these in their pockets, then they're fucking morons and they wasted their money. But, like, there are people that are 100% going to do that because people are morons and they like wasting money. I also have bad news for you, buddy. Sleeping, not interactive. You cannot make a game out of sleeping.
No, but, like, it's, for me, I've already said 100 times, it's not about sleeping. I like sleep. It's about waking up, because I don't like waking up.
That's still not going to be a fun game there, bud.
But no, I 100% know Pokemon Sleep is not a game. It is it's a sleep app. It is a sleep aid. Like I said, I've used these in the past, and they've kind of helped with being able to wake up. Back when I worked at McDonald's, I had an app on my phone because I'd have to wake up at like 3:30 in the morning or something like that. I had an app on my phone that would track my REM cycles and wake me up as close to my time as possible.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
After a REM cycle, so that it would be the optimal time to wake me up. And it helped me wake up on time to get to work on time. Because I'd have to be there so early, so I'd set it at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, lay down and go to sleep, and it would find a good time between a REM cycle to wake me up. And so, like, the alarm is like, here's a half-hour time window, wake me up sometime around there. And it would wake me up sometime within that time window. It wasn't always the same time, but I was up because I wasn't in the middle of a REM cycle at that time. Like, that's how this app works. That's how Pokemon Sleep works. It's going to record your sleep patterns. It's going to let you know if you made any noise. It's going to let you know how much you moved.
So you're into voyeurism.
A little bit, sure. But like that's Pokemon Sleep. Like I know it's not a game. I'm not looking for a game for sleep, but it's like it's gonna make you be excited to wake up. I'm like, yeah, what kind of Pokemon fell asleep next to me? Let's make waking up interactive.
What kind of Pokemon watched me while I slept?
What kind of Pokemon besides Chase fell asleep on my bed with me, huh? Like, come on now.
Chase is a dog.
I know, he's a doggo Pokemon. But, anyway.
How was Son of the... I'm sorry.
Real quick. The Pokemon Go Plus is $55.
That's absurd. I was very close, though.
I'm not surprised. It has a speaker. So it's going to be more, just because it
I
has
can make a speaker. Give me some fucking metal point and a magnet. This metal string,
so the Pokemon Go Plus was a literal button with an LED and Bluetooth connectivity. This has a speaker on it. And they said in the thing, that they plan on adding more functionality with Pokemon Go.
It does also have a Pikachu in it.
And it has a Pikachu in it, and Pikachu makes noise. I think the button was $30, which it's a fucking LED and Bluetooth connectivity. That's it. A button with LED and Bluetooth connectivity is $30. So I'm not surprised this thing's $50. But they also announced expansions for Scarlet and Violet in this thing, which I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I fell off hard of Scarlet and Violet, and I don't really know if I want to go back.
Yeah,
I never finished it. I finished the dude's quest with his dog, and I finished Starfall, maybe, I think. Pretty sure.
Star Street Academy? Or the Star Street, whatever.
The Starfall, the Operation Starfall.
Yeah.
Where you had to beat all the team whatever people.
Yeah. But
Team Star?
you never made it down to Area Zero or anything like that?
No, because I never finished the Pokemon League stuff because I just fucking lost interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're introducing a handful of Pokemon into the game that were already in there. There's 2 new legendaries. These DLCs come out fall and winter of this year. Which
seems weird. Like they're only going to be a couple months apart.
So were the other ones.
I thought the one wasn't the one like June and the other one was like November.
I mean, that's summer and fall.
So what they said 2023 for both of them. So I was thinking like September and December just seems very close together.
But it could be September or December, but July, August.
That's 5 months between June and November. It's 3 between September and December.
But maybe there's just I don't know what the player base is of Scarlet and Violet. Maybe it dropped hardcore. Maybe there's not as many people playing it. Maybe they're trying to pull people in by promising these things. Maybe they have more DLCs in store. Who knows? But it the DLCs even didn't really interest me. The first one interested me more than the second one, because the first one you go to the region that the additional legendaries in Scarlet and Violet are from. So I don't know if you guys know what the other legendaries are, but they're all Chinese referenced, and so you go to that region that
the
those
ones that you get from breaking the sword things,
the seals. Yeah, they're all a different. They're not Spanish based. They're all Chinese based, like Laoshan and stuff like that.
I only vaguely knew that.
Yeah, so you go to a different region. The only way you would know exactly the information about that is actually to go to history class in the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Going to school teaches you things. So you go to a different region, but then the second one, you go to it's called the Indigo Disc, and you attend, you're an exchange student again. I don't think you were an exchange student in this one.
No, you're just a new student at this one.
You're now an exchange student at Blueberry Academy, which is a floating disc on the water. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care. I thought the school idea was neat for these games when it was first announced and everything, but if it's going to be more of you have to just sit there and read text for classes to learn things, and I just don't care.
Yeah, I might try and finish the base game before then and then make the decision, but yeah, I'm right there with you. It's not that the DLC doesn't look interesting at all. It's just the base game just didn't hold my attention all that much. So it's do I want to spend another $40 on something that completely lost my attention?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I enjoyed Sword and Shield and the DLC for the most part. It had its problems, but I had fun with most of it.
That's the other thing. The DLC for Sword and Shield was... the first one was good, but the second one, to me, was a letdown.
Oh yeah, I didn't enjoy the second one because it put too much of a focus on the stuff I didn't like the fucking raids and stuff.
The raids and just there was no like actual like there was a pseudo story with it, but like when you give me all 4,500 legendaries on a single island, I lose interest in Pokemon and legendaries because they're not legendary anymore. But yeah, that was the Pokemon Presents. It was whatever. It was interesting. Like the announcement for Zacian in the MOBA game was probably my most interested thing.
Oh, into Unite,
yeah.
Yeah, no, that one did seem like it was more interesting than some of the other stuff, but you know, it's just more mobile games that I will never touch. But Rich, how has Son of the Forest been?
Sons of the Forest. There's an S.
Oh, I don't care.
An S. Sons of the Forest. So, for those of you who don't know, The Forest is a game made by, I believe the studio is called Midnight. It was a survival game with, you have to deal with creepy cannibals coming and attacking you. You had base building and exploring caves and whatnot. Sons of the Forest is, as far as we know, a sequel. I'm actually kind of thinking it's a prequel. But it's a sequel or just within that area of, or within that realm of the forest, made by Midnight again, where it's base building and exploring dungeons and crafting and like full on a Richie game. Like, that's what you guys said. It is a me game. I'd spent an hour building my base. If you were to come watch me play, you wouldn't realize it because I died before I could save after building that base.
Well, man, way to suck at the game. Jeez.
Let me tell you, this game's hard, man. I died.
Is this the one? Is this the one that you were saying like scared the shit out of you? I think you said that on like Discord or something. Maybe I might be misremembering entirely.
I don't know. When was this?
Maybe yesterday.
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like I remember you saying something somewhere about like the game being like legitimately scary and like, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Oh yeah, I said it. Sons of the Forest is scary in multiple ways. To start, the cannibals are tougher and smarter, but also I got lost playing and could easily put down like. I played from 6 to 10 o'clock without even realizing it was 6 to 10 o'clock. Like, once it was 10 o'clock, I was like, oh shit, I feel like it's been 20 minutes. But yeah, the cannibals are smarter. They react differently to the environment. They are very strong. Very strong. I feel like they need to do some balancing on that because you have, in this game, you can get like several different kinds of armor. You can get leaf armor, you can get hide armor, bone armor, and tech armor. All of the armors take one hit to be destroyed. If you have leaf armor, if you get hit, you lose all your leaf armor. But hide armor, bone armor, and tech armor all take one hit, but they're all harder to make, like progressively harder to make with each other. So why are they all getting damaged and destroyed after one hit?
Yeah, that seems wrong.
But it's also, like, the amount of... So, for instance, to make hide armor, you need 2 pieces of hide and some cloth. It's the easiest armor to make. It's not cheap, though. To make bone armor, you need 8 bones, some rope, some duct tape, or 8 bones, some rope, and some cloth. Which, again, is not cheap to make. That's a lot of resources needed to make this stuff. Mm-hmm. And tape and cloth are very hard to find in this game. So, like, you're requiring so much for me to find this stuff. Like, it's fine that they get destroyed after a hit or two. Like, that's how the first game was. But you either need to make some of these rare supplies more common, or you need to make them more versatile. You need to make them have better endurance. Because it's just... I had a full set of armor. I went into a cave, and within 20 seconds, they were all gone. Because it is, when you go into a cave, it's fucking dark. You don't have a flashlight. All you have is a little plasma lighter that you can light, and it'll glow the area around you. That is the best thing to use, by the way, in these games, if you're trying to light an area, is your lighter, because the torch is a main hand item only, and it is too bright and does not light enough area. So, like, it kind of, like, the flare of the flame covers up too much of the screen itself for you to actually be able to effectively see. It's kind of a pain. It really is. But like the game itself, it's fun. It's more of the forest. It's a bigger island. But I have complaints. I have I wish they had some form of fast travel because the island is as big as it is. Yesterday I played for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I swore I saved because I made at least 3 bases along the way of just exploring the island. I swore I saved. And all I was doing was walking around the island. It took me like 3 or 4 in-game days to get to this point, and then I die. And I lost 2 hours worth of progress, and it's only because I was in a rush to get back to my main base because I was out of supplies entirely. I was out of ammo I was out of arrows. I was running out of food, and I just needed to get back to base. And I was probably at least 2 days travel in game from my base to be able to do anything with it. So with the size of the island, they need to make a way to travel faster. They need to either have horses or something. There's fucking golf carts all around the island because they started to build a golf course on the island. Let me repair a golf cart so I can drive that around.
Was there any fast travel or vehicles in the first one, or was it just not big enough to really need it?
It wasn't big enough to really need it. You can get from one side of the island to the other within a day. This one, it's huge. It's huge.
How long is a day in game?
An in-game day is probably about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, so it's a decent amount of time.
Yeah, it is a decent chunk of time to go through a day. I haven't fully counted it, but I'm guessing at least 30 minutes for a day. That's usually how some of those games work for a day-night cycle. The 12 to 14 hours of daytime is usually about a half hour, and then you can sleep at night, so then it goes to the next morning when you wake up. But it's just, there's also a major lack of points of interest to explore. So in the first forest, it was a peninsula that you were on, and from the snow, it was snow-capped region and all the way to the tip of the peninsula. There were caves all over the place that weren't mapped. You weren't on your map unless you found them. But if they were very, very common to find them. But because of the size of this map for Sons of the Forest, it doesn't feel like the caves are as frequent. And so, since there's not as many caves, there's also just not as many things to do besides running around. You'll occasionally come up to a cannibal camp and things like that. But just in general, that doesn't feel like there's enough within the scope of where you're running around in. And which would, if they made a fast travel type, a mount or something, would make it easier to be able to get around and explore that stuff, and you can get through all the fluff. Because let me tell you, the game looks fucking beautiful. Where I built my main base at, which I thought at the time was the middle of the island, it's not. Is gorgeous. It's stunning. There's a lake right in front. There's trees all the way around. It's on the top of this little plateau. It's very beautiful, and it's such a gorgeous game. And the how the grass and how everything interacts and the physics with this game is awesome. And even the AI for the cannibals is really good. But it's just there's a lot to wish for, and it is early access. It's not complete. I guess because there were so many people out there wanting this game, they decided instead of waiting until it was more complete to release it and update it as time goes on. Which a lot of these survival games do. They release, even Grounded, one of the biggest survival games out there right now. They didn't have the full story available when it first launched. And as they updated things and made things work better and updated different areas and made more locations more accessible, that's when they added more and more of the story. I don't even think Grounded had a major story content right at the beginning. I'm not really sure though. But it's just the first update's in a few days, so hopefully maybe they add some things, because it is missing a lot. There is, one thing they did cool in this game is you can gather water from any stream, whereas in the first one it was only at certain locations, so you'd have to make a water catch. There's no water catch in this game. Another good thing that they had in the first game was like a sled that you could build that then you can pile on supplies like rocks, logs, or twig, or branches, or sticks to then carry more to your base, because you can only initially carry 2, or you can set up this slide that will have like 2 logs, or this sled can carry like 8. There's none of that. So like, as I was building my base, I would have to go chop down a tree, grab 2 logs, run to my base, place them, go back out, grab 2 more logs, go back, place them. And it was getting very tedious, especially since in the first one it was like place building, where you have like, you can set up a blueprint and this is what you want to build, and you just get your supplies and build it. For certain aspects of this game, like building a gate around your compound or a fence around your compound, that is all free building. There is no blueprint setup. So you just have to sit there and go grab it and place it right next to the previous log, which is both good and bad, because it becomes more tedious. If you're trying to make a gate or like a fence around your home, you have to do it one by one. And you can't tell, if you're playing single player, you can't tell your little AI partner companion, hey, build this for me, by placing the blueprints, and then he do the rest. So it's just like, they did a lot of cool and interesting things in this, but it is still missing a lot. And I'm excited to see where it goes, but I hope they at least try to balance some of the AI, or not balance the AI, but balance the damage dealt from the characters. Maybe make your companions a little, like, the AI for your companions isn't the greatest. I had to constantly tell my, his name is Kelvin, my AI dude, hey, go grab logs, and every time I told him, go grab logs, he wouldn't do it. So I eventually just told him, hey, follow me, and I went out to an area, and like, since he wasn't actually grabbing logs, I said, clear 20 meters, and just chop down all the trees 20 meters around this spot right here. And it's just like, alright, great, and he just started chopping logs while I was grabbing them and placing them in my fence.
I mean, that seems useful.
He was being very useful at that time, but there are other times he's not being useful. And then you get, your main goal of the game is to find these 3 people who got lost in the forest. You eventually meet the first one, Veronica, very early on. If you don't do anything to harm her, she'll like kind of follow you around, but she doesn't actually really follow you around. So I gave her my pistol, because you can, to like, hey, follow me around and help defend me. She left the second I gave her my pistol. She just ran away.
That's kind of fucked.
And like, there was an instance where she like came up to me at one point, and there were a couple of cannibals, and she has my pistol, and I don't have the time to take it off of her to fight them myself, because I was out of arrows, and she's just scared, and she shoots 2 shots and then runs away. And I'm like, well, this is frustrating. And there's even things like, to make a rain catch in the first forest, you need some sticks and a turtle shell. Well, I killed a turtle, get some meat, I took the shell. There's nothing to do with the turtle shell. It's just sitting in my inventory right now. If I click to add, I can't even click to add it to the crafting spot to see what I would need to craft anything with it. And when going through my buildable things, I can't do anything with it. So I don't know if maybe it's a free build thing that I would need to do with that or what, but there's still a lot of learning I need to do, and a lot of exploring I need to do in this game, especially to get to the supplies I need to be ready to even delve into the first cave you come across. Because I've ran into that like 2 or 3 times and died each time, because it's way too dark, and there's just so many enemies, and they hit you so hard.
But at least, like you said, it sounds like they are going to be updating it and patching it. Like you said, the first patch comes out in a few days.
Yeah, the first update should come out. I think it's let's see. I think it might be the 9th. No, it's even sooner than that. It might be like the 6th or something.
So hopefully they balance things out a little bit better.
Yeah, it might be I think it was like 9 days from yesterday or something. So it might be the 8th. I'm not 100% sure, but they are updating it. They are keeping it updated. You can do the entire story run right off the get-go. Like, if you were to just stick with the story and you can find these people that you're trying to find to do the story, from what I'm seeing, right away. Which to me is kind of a little bit of a bummer that they released it in early access and you can play the whole game right now, because it's like, there's so much missing to me, it feels, that like, if somebody were to just play this game for the story, hopefully they got their money's worth it, because they're never going to play the game again, potentially. But yeah, it's good. It's fun. If you like those type of games, if you like those survival horror type games, definitely check it out. I'll be posting it on my YouTube in a few weeks when it comes up to its stream. I think I did Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday on stream with it. So I'll be posting those, and I'll be giving you more of my viewpoint of it on those YouTubes, or you can watch my VODs on Twitch to watch it.
Don't threaten people.
I didn't threaten. I just said you can watch my VOD, man.
Sounds like a threat to me.
No, it's not.
All done. Talk about the forest, though? Or
Yeah.
the Sons of the Forest?
Sons of the Forest, yes.
Oh, that's not the time.
So
What am I doing?
how is books?
Books are good. So I finished 2 books this past week. I read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for the first time. Did not realize that was a series and that there were multiple books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think 4 of them were written by Douglas Adams, and then there's like 1 or 2 that were written after he died. But yeah, no idea that was a series of books. The first one, at least, absolutely delightful. It's like, have either of you ever seen the movie from like
Yes.
2006?
I love the movie. I loved it so much.
So I've never seen the movie either. So I don't really have like a lot of I went into this mostly blind. Like I knew the basic concept was like the Earth got destroyed and there was a depressed android voiced by Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm. Where there were dolphins singing "So Long Farewell" and "Thanks for All the Fish," because apparently dolphins are aliens.
Also mice.
Mice are aliens. That's not something they showed in the movie.
So in the book, mice are actually the true rulers of the planet Earth. They are a paradimensional being who, when they manifest in our dimension, they manifest as small mice. But in their dimension, they are apparently like a normal size, like humanoid creature.
Weird.
And a thing happened, and this is where the plot goes for this book. A thing happened millions of years ago, and they built a computer to try and figure out the meaning of life and everything in the universe. And it took that computer like 7 million years to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's where the 42 comes from.
Yes. They didn't show that as the mice in the movie. They just showed that there was that computer, and that's pretty much the movie is them trying to find the computer.
Yeah. So it's basically mice are what built that initial computer. And then when that computer gave them the answer of 42, and then tells them that they need a more powerful computer to figure out what the actual question is, they then build the planet Earth, and the Earth is a computer, essentially.
Okay.
And it spends the next 7 million years or whatever running the calculations to try and decide what the actual question is that led to the answer of 42.
Uh-huh.
But then the Earth gets destroyed 1 hour prior to the computations being complete. And the only person who potentially has the answer still in them is your main guy, Arthur.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But like it's such a weird, disjointed book where it starts and where it ends are just 2 totally different places. I love that their ship is just it has an improbability engine. So
Yeah.
it's just everything that happens just happens based on like how improbable it actually was.
Yeah.
Like Arthur and Ford get picked up by this ship just by random happenstance because it was so improbable that 2 guys literally floating in the vacuum of space would be saved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They mentioned a little bit on that. Like there's at one point in the movie, I can't remember, that like people get ejected or something, and one of them turns into a potted plant and the other one turns into a whale because of the improbability.
Yeah. That is when they're part of the plot is they're trying to find this planet that basically went missing hundreds of thousands of years ago, and they were a planet that used to make other planets. And the whole thing was they basically put themselves into like hypersleep because the market on planets had like diminished. So they were waiting for it to bounce back before they came back and like would do that stuff. In the book, it wasn't people that got transformed. I believe it was 2 rockets or 2 missiles that were coming at them.
That might have been it. That might have been what it was.
But yeah, one of them was it was a potted plant and like a sperm whale. And then they both fell to the planet, and the plant, shattered, and the whale died.
Yeah.
It's just so absurd and funny, and even just the way it opens up with Arthur, that they're trying to destroy his home to build a throughway.
Yeah.
And he's just laying in front of a bulldozer trying to stop them from doing it. And Ford shows up and convinces the foreman guy to lay in his place, so that they could go have a drink before the world ends. And then the Earth gets destroyed moments after his house does, so that they can build an interstellar throughway.
Yeah.
It's a good time. And the version of the book that I got, it had a foreword sort of thing by Douglas Adams that basically explained the idea of the book came to him while he was laying drunk in a field in some little English village or German village or something like that. All right, man, that is the most 70s ass story I have ever heard.
Yeah.
Also, it's wild that book is from the 70s. I think it was 78 or 79 was when it was released. And even the bits on Earth do not feel that dated. Just there's not really reference to technology in a lot of ways. But then when they do get into space and they're doing more things with advanced technology, at no point was I'm this is so old that they didn't really understand what things would be like. There are definitely cases like that where they talk about it sounds like in certain instances the computer wasn't speaking, it was just displaying text, or at least that's the way it read to me. And I'm okay, had this been written 15 years later, it probably would have all been digital, but things still are a little analog. It was highly enjoyable though. If you've never read or watched, I'm assuming the movie is just as good. If you've never read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy though, definitely worth reading. It's also very short. So Rich, I know you were interested in trying to find some shorter books. It's 200 pages, 250 pages. It's a very quick read.
Listen, sir, you have been more active on my wanting to read one book a month than I have on my wanting to read one book a month. I'm behind by every book.
I think I read 4 books in February.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Mr. Overachiever over here. Do less. Play more video games.
I read before bed.
Play video games before bed.
I can't. The video games are downstairs.
Bring them upstairs.
No, that's a bad idea. But yeah, Hitchhikers is great. The other one that I checked out, there's a fantasy trilogy called the Green Bone Saga.
Uh-huh.
The first book is called Jade City. The author's name is Fonda Lee. It's a really fucking cool concept and everything for a book. It's not so much. It's not fantasy in the high fantasy knights and magic and kings and stuff like that. It's more an urban fantasy. It's. I don't know that it's set in a present day adjacent world, but it's definitely set in a more modern world where there are cars and televisions. Doesn't seem like there are cell phones or computers really. And the story makes it sound like this is a post World War, post Vietnam War sort of era. And the setting for it is there is this island nation that this special type of jade comes from. It's the only place in the world where this jade happens. And people that have a certain sensitivity to it basically get superpowers from it.
Yeah.
So if they have jade and they have it on their body, they can they get enhanced strength, enhanced speed, the ability to deflect things with their presence, so they can deflect bullets and knives and literally use that power to just push tables and stuff at people. They can channel things, so they can channel the energy into somebody to heal them or to kill them. And the more jade that they have on them, the more powerful they become. But it's a double-edged sword because it also makes it acts like a drug too. When they remove the jade from them, there is an actual withdrawal that they'll go through. And not everybody has a tolerance for it. So even people from this island nation, sometimes they can't handle it correctly, and they actually do basically become addicted to it the way that you'd imagine people become addicted to heroin or something like that.
Yeah.
And they get what's called the itches, where they're basically crawling out of their own skin. There's one character that's referenced in the book that she got it, and she was found in a bathtub actually taking a cheese grater to her arms because she couldn't stop the itching. Yeah, but on top of like that, like the setting, it's also like a crime family drama, so like a Godfather or something like that, where you have these two clans that at one point they were allies during like this war. And after the war, they kind of like split, with how they wanted things to be. And the two like original heads of it have either died or are so old that they just can't lead it anymore. So it's like the new generation is leading it. The family we follow is the No Peak clan. And it's the oldest brother is now the head of the clan, and then the middle brother or the younger brother, I should say, is, he's what's called the Horn. He's basically the enforcer. Like, he's the one who, runs all of the fighters and everything. And then they have a sister who has left the family. Like, she stopped wearing jade, she went to another country to study, and she's just come back to the island and is looking for a way to live there, but not get pulled back into, like, all the family drama. Meanwhile, the other clan, the new leader for them is a fucking sociopath and just murders everybody, and is actively trying to start a war with them. And you have the leader of the one that we're following, like, he's very level-headed. He doesn't want there to be a war, but he understands that they also can't just roll over and let this other clan do what they want. So there's, like, a lot of confrontation in this book, and it doesn't always go the way you expect it to. But it has some of maybe the best character arcs I have ever read.
Okay.
And just everything about this first book, like, the characters are incredibly compelling. Even when they, the middle brother, Hilo, like I said, he's like the enforcer. He is simultaneously, like, the world's biggest asshole, but also the most caring and, like, sincere fucking person. Like, if he is on your side, he will do anything to make sure that, like, you are, like, protected and taken care of. But if you cross him, he will fucking burn you to the ground. And, like, for being so high in their organization, like, he's essentially second in command. He treats everybody below him like they are a person. Like, he doesn't act like the lowest rung of, like, his fighters are just, like, fodder. Like, he is legitimately upset when, like, he finds out one of them is murdered. And even, like, the kids that are coming up in, like, it's weird. So these families, while they are crime families, they are at that point of being crime families where they're basically a legitimate form of government also. So, like, they have seats on the local government. Like, they help, like, they have say in the control and sale of the jade that is mined on their island. Because other countries want this stuff, even though the other countries can't use it the same way, and their people actually die from using it. But, so, like, they have, both clans have academies that basically just teach kids how to use jade and become fucking either fighters for them or businessmen for them. And he even, like, goes to these the schools and, like, treats all these students like they're actually, like, important members of, like, their clan, even though they're not yet. Like, he doesn't know them from, like, the back of, from anybody else. But it's just, it was a really, really good fucking book. I could not recommend it enough. There's still two more, Jade Legacy, or Jade War and Jade Legacy are the next two in the trilogy. With how this first one ended, it's almost like it, for being the first book in the trilogy, it kind of has that, like, Empire Strikes Back feel of, it ends with just everything sucks. Like, they kind of made it out okay. Like by the time everything wrapped up, like, the world hadn't been destroyed yet, but, like, no one really won either. So I'm, like, curious to see, like, how things go into the next one, since being that it's called Jade War, I imagine that both sides are going to, like, come to, like, real blows between each other.
Yeah.
But that book, Rich, probably too long for you to get through right now.
How long is it?
I think it's like 500 to 600 pages.
Probably. But, I mean, let me at least do one book before I think about others. I'm hoping to get started reading some books over the course of the next month. I've just been, with feeling sick and everything is mostly really the issue. And now that, like, I'm getting a handle of all of why I've been feeling sick, minus my current fucking head cold, because obviously I can't go 2 weeks without being sick, I might have more energy and time to actually read and shit, but we'll see.
Oh, and actually, there was a third one I finished this week. I also finished The Princess Diarist, which is the Carrie Fisher book that she wrote just before she passed away.
Oh, okay.
That one, also really good. It's basic. It's a small period of time, during, like, the filming of the original Star Wars. I actually listened to the audiobook for it, because Audible was running, like, it was get 2 books for 1 credit, and I had 1 credit, and that was one of the only other books that seemed interesting. But she apparently found diaries that she had kept during the filming of the original Star Wars. So while the book is not it's not just those diaries printed, I guess it was enough of, like, a thing that she sat down, read them, remembered enough of kind of, like, what it was like back then. And it's, like, her memoir from that period of time, like, talking about, like, being cast in Star Wars, filming Star Wars, the relationship she had with Harrison Ford, and then kind of, like, what came after, like, with, like, the fandom and, like, doing conventions and meeting people and, like, the legacy that kind of, like, built off of that.
Yeah.
And the audiobook, she actually narrated. Like, she did the whole thing, except for a small section in the middle that were the actual diary entries, which were read by her daughter. So that one is also very short. It was like a 3-hour audiobook, so it's probably only like a 150, 200 page book.
Yeah.
Also worth checking out if you like memoirs, because she is a very funny person. And
yeah, she is.
And, like, that book had a lot of humor in it. It was a lot of, like, self-deprecating humor, but still a lot of humor.
Yeah, I mean, we're all used to self-deprecating humor, though.
That is true. But that said, books out of the way, what did you guys think of Akira?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was very 80s, very anime. I listened to it dubbed. I wanted to do subbed.
Same.
I wanted to do subbed, but I was working. It was today. If it were last night, it would have been subbed. But the voice acting was good. They did a decent job, like, trying to get localization with it and getting everything to match. But I don't know when it was.
So that dub was from 2001. I did look this up because there were a bunch of voices I recognized. So, like, 3 of the characters, like, were, like, very much voice actors of that era. You had Johnny Young Bosch was, I forget the names, unfortunately. Johnny Young Bosch was, like, the main guy with the red motorcycle.
Kanata.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kanata.
I don't remember the person's name, but the voice actor for Tetsuo, the one who actually, like, went through all of the weird psychic bullshit.
Yeah.
His voice actor was the same voice actor as Tai from Digimon and Digimon Adventure 2.
Okay.
And then, Kei, I think her name was Kei, the girl that was kind of with them throughout, like, the later half of the movie. Her voice actor was, Wendy Lee, who is the voice actor of Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat story. It's interesting. The art is fantastic in this. It's so good.
So, and I don't know if you guys will agree. So this movie, 1988, 89, if I remember correctly. It was 88, because that's where it opens up. I thought the animation for this was leaps and bounds better than the Interstellar one that was from a little over a decade later.
Yeah, it was, but
and I think they were the same. Weren't they both Toei?
I don't think Akira was Toei. But I also I think also Interstellar was a much lower budget.
I mean, probably. It's wild to think that was like a lower budget than like because like Daft Punk is like, even in the early 2000s, like they were a well-known famous musical act. And like Toei was like a major, and still is a major animation studio. And Akira, I don't believe it was based on anything. I'm pretty sure it was just I'm sorry, it is based on a manga.
There's a manga.
Never mind. Yeah, from 80. I'm looking at the Wikipedia now. I have always thought that Akira was like anime original.
So did I, but I was looking into things today while I was watching it. And yeah, it's based on a manga from the early 80s. It is, to me, as I was watching it, like, I made this joke earlier, it's a kaiju anime. Like, it kind of is a kaiju anime. Like, you don't actually get, like, the big monster until the very end, but it's all about handling this potential monster that could cause issues. And I was just like, this is totally a kaiju film, and I love it.
You know what? It kind of was in a weird way. Like, it wasn't, but it was. Like, I get how you see that.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, what did you think of it?
I thought it was way more anime than I expected. Like, I don't know why I didn't expect, like, superpowered characters. Like, I expected more, like, Blade Runner-y-esque. Just, like, you know, maybe robot, but, like, not full-on, like, Dragon Ball ass powers and shit. So.
Yeah, I knew very little about it going into. I knew that there was some sort of, like, mutation thing that happened, but I actually thought it happened to Kaneda. Like, I thought he changed.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, like, it was somebody else.
So, yeah, I don't know, like, I guess I understand why, like, it's super highly regarded, but it was...
Well, maybe you should make it for you, Drew.
Nah, I'm good.
I mean, look at it this way. Like, there was kind of wrestling in it. Like, at one point they threw a man through a glass window. That is very wrestling.
It was not a table, so it doesn't count.
I am sure at some point in the last 25 years, somebody has been thrown through plate glass.
Yes, many times.
So see, this is just wrestling. It is definitively more up your alley than either Richie or I's.
I don't know about that.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I watched it, or I learned about Akira back in like 2012, ish, I believe. When I first went to MagFest, and they had a whole, like, I'm only knowing this because I literally went to the website and searched Akira because they had a whole Akira art exhibit with original art cells and stuff at the first MagFest.
Wow, so you actually didn't watch Akira that long ago?
No, it was probably around 2012-ish, or shortly after that. And, like, I didn't remember anything, like, or much about it. Like, there wasn't a lot I remembered about it, but there was, like, I remember the general idea of the story. I completely forgot about the little kids, and stuff.
Oh, they
like
were
that.
fucking weird and creepy.
Yeah. But it
But
was...
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It has, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I was just trying to talk about how I think we have on Facebook like some of the art that I saw at MagFest so long ago. We have one image on our website for it. But what did you guys think about, like, in the very beginning, how they, like, what they did with the lights and everything at night? I didn't quite catch that much more after that. I'm sure they did, but I wasn't 100% paying attention.
Yeah, I think everything they did, like, stylistically and, like, animation-wise was all really cool, especially for something from, like, the late 80s.
Yeah.
And even just, like the designs of, like, the motorcycles and all, like that red motorcycle is iconic.
Yeah.
So, like, I have known about Akira longer than that. Like, I've probably known Akira was, like, a popular thing since, like, the early 2000s. And it's always been one of those things that, like, I should watch this sometime. And it's just, I never got around to it.
It's one of those movies, because it is so dated, that it, like, you worry about, like, it's so old, like, is it gonna live up to the hype and things like that? Is it actually going to be what people said it was? Like, I know, for instance, Drew, your brother, I think he's never seen Back to the Future, or at least this was a few years ago. He said he'd never seen Back to the Future and he will never watch it because he's afraid it's not going to live up to the hype. And that's, like, kind of how I feel with Akira. And, like, the movie came out in 88. It came to the States in the early 2000s. It's high regard, but it's like, is it actually going to be that good with, like, we're in 2023. This movie is 30-something years old, right? I think I did that math right. Almost 40 years old. It's not going to look as good as stuff nowadays. Is it going to hold up? Is it going to be as good? And I think this one is one of those movies that actually does hold up. Even it's still, you can still see a little bit of the 80s jank in the animation, but it still holds up to this day. Plus,
yeah,
Yeah.
the story they tell, and taking down the establishment and all that. Let's go for it. Let's go.
Yeah, I would say that like this holds up in a way that like the Ghibli movies tend to, and Disney movies tend to. Like, not as polished as a Disney movie. Like if you go back and watch like Little Mermaid from, I think that's 89, like the animation in that movie is still fantastic. But like for an anime movie that, you know, it's not from Studio Ghibli. It's not a Miyazaki film. It didn't have any kind of like name or prestige behind it, really, as far as I can tell. To be like just that well done, like that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it really is.
And I mean, I'll say, like, I feel like well done animation holds up better than like live action movies.
Definitely.
Well done animation holds up better than well done CG of its time.
Oh, that's not even a fucking question.
But like, I might not 100% agree with animation and live action. If live action's like, if it's a good live action movie, it usually is just in generally a good movie that like that's good with about more than just like the actors or the set design. It's like overall a good movie. Whereas like if you find me a really good high regard animated movie, but the animation doesn't hold up from its time to now, that will affect your like what you think of the movie. Like I can't 100% agree that animation holds up better than live action. It's really all I'm saying.
Well, so alright, fair for the most part. I'll super caveat it in, especially in like futuristic sci-fi, the vast majority of future sci-fi live action stuff does not hold up.
Yeah, it's very
like,
much depends on the thing.
Yeah,
I
the future stuff in Back to the Future looks stupid.
Yeah,
but also you got to take into account it's a stupid movie. It's not a serious movie.
I just like from a quality of production standpoint, like that's all I'm saying. I'm not like that's not on the quality of the movie. It's on the like the way they can make something look in an animated thing versus the way they can the constraints they have with a live action setting.
Yeah,
like an animated thing can hold up better because they can make things look more cohesive than it's like, shit, well, we had to kind of piece together this thing from a whole bunch of random shit and it looks real dumb.
Yeah, no, that's I definitely agree with that. Like 9 times out of 10, like animated like I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. A quality animated movie against a quality live action movie. I think a lot of times the animated movie just holds up better and is a little more timeless.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and watch like Gone with the Wind or something like that, like something that is just very highly regarded from like the 30s or 40s. Like picture quality notwithstanding, that movie is not going to hold up the same way that say Snow White or Sleeping Beauty would.
Or fucking Bambi. You know, Bambi's fucking 80 years old. Or what, Snow White's 1939?
Yeah, like, Snow White's the original Disney movie, I think, right?
So.
It's either Snow White or it's not Sleeping Beauty, no, because Sleeping Beauty came out in the 50s, so.
Oh, 1937 for Snow White.
And, like, that holds up in a way that, like, I don't think The Wizard of Oz does. I've also never seen The Wizard of Oz start to finish, so take that opinion with a grain of salt.
I mean, I mostly agree. I think Wizard of Oz still kind of holds up pretty well. I think that...
I'm not saying it doesn't hold up. I'm just simply saying that Snow White holds up better if you were to, like, put the two next to each other and say, like, which one looks and, like, sounds and just feels better in 2023.
Probably, yeah.
But, anything else about Akira?
That's a good movie. Everyone, if you didn't watch it over the past 2 weeks, you should watch it. It's really good. Yeah, it's really all. It's I don't know. It is iconic. It's iconic for a reason, and you should check it out. It's got some really cool themes, some really interesting, really awesome art and animation style. I can't praise it enough.
Yeah, I would definitely 100% worth checking out.
Yeah, especially if you're
anime and sci-fi,
Yeah.
really. Like, if you're into either one of them, you'd probably find something enjoyable about this. But, Rich, what is your next pick?
Well, first, Drew, you had asked if I had a pick for this week. Did you have an idea for something?
No, I never wound up thinking about anything.
Okay. You had asked, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah. No, I did mean to maybe think about it, but then wound up super busy the last 2 days, so I had no time.
What a slacker.
So, I think we're going to jump out of our comfort zone a little bit here, guys. This is also, I'm trying to pick a movie that I think might be slightly in Drew's wheelhouse. Slightly, I think. I don't know. We'll see. But it's definitely far out of, as far as I know, Cobb's comfort zone and a little bit out of my comfort zone. We're going to watch La La Land.
Oh, I saw this. Oh, wait.
Recently?
Wait, hold on.
With Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
Okay, yeah, I saw this in theaters when it came out.
Okay, but it wasn't like within the past year.
It was when it came out in theaters. Fucking
in
whatever
2016.
the fuck that was.
So yeah, okay. So that's fine. We're gonna do La La Land. I've never seen it. And
Holy shit! That was a guess. It did come out in 2016.
That sounded right. Like I fucking
yeah.
I mean, it's legitimately
it's
been 3 years since I've gone to a movie theater, so it had to at least have been pre-2019.
Mm-hmm. But I came up with a bunch of ideas for upcoming book clubs, and one movie that I've always wanted to watch and never got around to it, never even thought about it, and I know it's not 100% in my comfort zone of movies to watch, especially by myself, because it is a musical, right?
Oh
yes.
Which musical I'm into, but it's a love story, and
It is a romantic musical comedy drama, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, but it's not so much it's not like everything is songs musical.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
there are definitely music is a central tenet in this movie.
So
it's a movie musical versus a Broadway made into a movie musical.
Yeah. So the musical part is fine. I enjoy musicals. I enjoy musical numbers. It's more like the love story rom-com aspect that I'm usually not 100% into, and kind of bores me. Which is I like the musicals, don't really care for the romantic stuff, but this is jumping out of my comfort zone and trying something new.
But hey, I mean, it's got Ryan Gosling and J.K. Simmons. It can't be a bad movie.
Exactly. And Cobb, I think don't you not like musicals, if I remember correctly?
No, I'm fine with musicals.
Okay, for some reason I thought you didn't like musicals.
I don't care for going to the theater. And yeah, and I more modern musicals. I'd probably be more up for like Beetlejuice that Drew you saw a few months ago.
Fucking amazing.
But I have very little, if any, interest in classical musicals. I never want to see Cats. I saw Phantom of the Opera once and found it very boring.
Yeah, same. Sarah and I have watched the movie version of Phantom. I was like, no, not for me. Oklahoma
want to see
sucked.
Mean Girls. I want to see Mean Girls. I don't
Yeah,
know. If
probably
it's
good.
Mean Girls, Aladdin. I would go see Aladdin.
One that we saw that was really good was called Waitress, which was based on a movie from the mid-aughts with, God, why did I just blank on his name? The main character in Firefly.
Nathan Fillion?
Nathan Fillion. It is a rom-com movie, but they made a musical out of it, and it was fucking really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's got Kerry Russell in it.
Yeah.
Not the musical.
No, the movie. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like we're living in an era where Broadway musicals are actually something that can be fun, whereas your old school ones not as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my choice for this week. I've got a couple lined up for the next couple of choices that hopefully are pretty good. And
how many more of them are musicals?
As far as I know, none of them. But
not Chicago.
Not Chicago. No,
next pick, we're watching Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. Look, we could do a double up for every time somebody picks a movie, we now have to do two more or one more of that movie. Or so, I picked a musical, so Cobb, you pick a musical, and Drew, if you pick the next time, you have to pick a musical. Then the next time I pick a movie, it'll be something else. And we have to stick
Waypoint
with
does
that
this.
theme.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, so they do, I forget what the thing is called, but on their, like, subscription side, they do, it's like My Way or My Pick or something like that, where they kind of, one of them picks something and then they each have to pick something that's somehow in line with that. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily like a musical has to be a musical, but like, if it was like The Waitress, for instance, maybe like the next person picked Waiting, the 2005 comedy with Ryan Reynolds.
That works.
So like they find like some sort of connection to it, and sometimes like you see the connection, you're like, oh, I get that, and other times you're like, where the fuck did you pull this from? And I think it's like after they do like a full circuit of like everybody involved, they then like put it up to like their community to pick like the next thing, and then they each like piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
I haven't actively gone and listened to any of them just because their podcasts are all already pretty long. Like they're twice a week, 2-hour podcasts. And I just don't have the time for like another like 2-hour like movie commentary podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was looking for Pitch Perfect, but none of them are available for free on any streaming.
I thought they were available on HBO Max.
Nope. Not as far as I remember. I think you need premium subscriptions for them or something.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking of doing Pitch Perfect because I re-listened to the Pitch Perfect album soundtrack the other day.
Pitch Perfect 2 is on Peacock.
Fuck Peacock. But it was like, since it's not available, I'll be 100% honest, for some reason I thought Anna Kendrick was in La La Land, and I didn't realize it was. I didn't look up anything. I just remember La La Land and thought it was Anna Kendrick.
So basically, you just want to watch Anna Kendrick movies.
I kind of wanted to just do an Anna Kendrick movie, which I think there's a movie called like 100 Days that was on Netflix or something like that.
Well, so there's 300 Days of Summer, I think she's in.
I don't think that's...
She's not a main character in it, but I think she is in that. There's that movie with Kumail Nanjiani, that's based on like his actual wife getting sick that I think she is in.
The Big Sick.
Yeah. Might not be that one. It might be something, another sick movie. Actually, it was another sick movie. It was the one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt where he has cancer. She is his therapist.
That's the 300 Days of Summer.
No, 300 Days of Summer is a different one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's the one where he's in a relationship with Zooey Deschanel. And they're just awful together. There's a lot of fucking weird movies from like circa 2005 to like circa like 2013.
Yeah. Oh, The Last 5 Years is what I was thinking. Is another Anna Kendrick movie that I've always wanted to watch. Because like I think it goes in reverse or something. I don't remember, but Anna Kendrick is great. I love Anna Kendrick. But
those Pitch Perfect movies are also incredibly enjoyable.
They are, which like that's kind of also what I wanted to pick, was just a movie that is hopefully just enjoyable for all to watch. Which is why I was like, Pitch Perfect would be a good idea, but I think La La Land is probably also going to be a good idea.
Like, Drew, have you ever seen the Pitch Perfect movies with Sarah?
I don't think we have watched those, but I would probably enjoy them.
In the sequel, real quick, in the second movie, there is a cameo by the Green Bay Packers like defensive line at an underground a cappella battle.
Yeah.
It's like Clay Matthews and like 4 other guys on like the Green Bay Packers are like an a cappella group that they're at this like 8 Mile style like a cappella off in like an empty pool or whatever.
Yeah. I've only ever seen the first one, and I think about that album and listen to it like at least once every couple of years. I'll listen to like all of the audio tracks from that, all of their songs and compilations. And it's just it's a good, enjoyable, silly movie.
Yeah, the only one I haven't seen, I never saw the third one.
Third one goes weird places from what I remember hearing, but it's still like not bad.
Yeah, I know very little about the third one. I know that there is also a spin-off series coming on Peacock.
Yeah.
Or might already be out with Adam Devine, who plays one of the guy a cappella people.
Yeah, he's like the head of of their rival group at their school.
Yeah.
Which Adam Devine, also great actor. I love him.
Yeah, he's very funny. Actually, so is this on fucking anything? Hang on. It's not. Never mind. So there is a movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Rich. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
I've heard about that. About it because that's Anna Kendrick and Aubrey Plaza, right?
Yeah, it's them plus Zac Efron and Adam Devine.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I've heard about that one.
But it's unfortunately only available for rent.
Yeah, which is fine. That's fine. I almost watched RRR this weekend, but ended up spending 5 hours editing video instead.
Good job.
I have a YouTube video coming up on Friday. It's nothing major or special, but I have a video coming up on Friday.
15 minutes of video for 17 hours of editing, right?
No, fucking 1 minute of video for an hour and 40 minutes of editing.
That is not a video, that's a short.
No, that's what it was. I made a TikTok, a highlight reel of the video I'm posting, and it took me an hour and a half to edit it down from 20 minutes to a minute. And then to, like, actually put together, like, an intro and an outro and piece together the video that I'm posting, which is just a highlight of a Monster Hunter hunt from a stream. 5 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in total, including rendering time, which was 8 minutes to render, 8 to 10 minutes to render. So, like, I spent 2 hours doing that video, and then I spent another hour and a half doing another one that's coming out next week. So,
good job.
Instead of watching RRR or Akira this weekend, I actually made paid content.
Oh, you and your content. I think that's probably going to do it for this week, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you would like to find... I guess actually in 2 weeks, because we didn't specify the date, on the 16th of March, we will be talking about La La Land as our next book club. So look forward to that.
Award winner. That almost got its award stolen. Or was
Isn't
it the opposite round?
It's the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget who was giving out the award that time, but they opened the envelope and said La La Land, and the actual winner was The Green Book.
Yeah, wasn't that? For some reason, I have Steve Harvey on my mind.
I think it was Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Like that read the wrong name?
That read the wrong name. Yeah.
It's possible. But if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All those things matter. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us emails to social@one-quest.com. And then, Rich, you're playing the Sons of the Forest the rest of this week and starting Tales of Arise next week?
No, I'm probably not going to play Sons of the Forest tomorrow or on Thursday. I might just do some Apex or something, I'm not sure. As long as I feel good enough to stream. Just follow me on my socials to find it out, or check out my Discord. But yes, Tales of Arise starting on Sunday. It's twitch.tv/b_walnuts for game streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Cool. And with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. See yous.